Right, hello everyone again. Here we go again. No video yesterday, so I'm going to condense these two videos into each other. And do you know what? I'm not even going to do the Fluent in 5 because I've had a look at yesterday's and today's, and there's nothing on there that I think that you can't do. So I'm just going to wait and see if I get any messages from people that are struggling with maths. None so far, so that suggests everybody's getting on really, really well. I will do a quick recap on square numbers and cube numbers though. So that's Tuesday the 12th, home learning, and that's Wednesday today the 13th, home learning. So if I just recap what a square number is, the hint says a square number is a number that's times by itself. So I could write them all out actually. 1 times 1 equals 1, 2 times 2 equals 4, 3 times itself, 3 times 3 equals 9, and so on. 4 times itself, 4 times 4 equals 16, and I could go right down the list until 12 times 12, and that would be all the square numbers that you'd probably be expected to know at this point. So the only tricky thing on the sheet is that you're working backwards. So I've given you the answer and you've got to work out which two numbers were timesed by together, which number was timesed by itself to get that answer. So you can work it out. I'll just do the first one. It was something squared equals 81. Now I know 81 is in the 9 times table, so I'm going to try 9 times 9, 9 times itself, which I know is 81. So 9 squared was the answer, 9. Right, it does get a little bit trickier when you go down towards the challenge section. So I'll go through these answers for you and see how I would have worked them out. So something squared equals 36. Sorry, I've just given you my mental strategy there. Something squared equals 3,600. Now I notice that is 36 with 2 zeros on the end. So what I'm going to do is try and think which two numbers times together to make 36, and then see if I can split up these zeros, because really I need a 0 on either side of the multiplication, then I could smile them over on my maths. I'll show you what I mean. So 36, I know 6 times 6 is 36. So 6 times 6 would have been 36. So if I share these two numbers out, these two zeros, and put 1 on each side, I know from my strategies where I take the 0 off and I put it back on at the end, smiling on my maths, that 6 times 6 would have been 36, and then I could just drag my 2 zeros across. So I've shared out the 2 zeros. That's a really, really good way to think about it mentally. So the answer is 60 squared equals 3,600. The next one, let's do the same. Something squared equals 900. Well, there's the 2 zeros on the end that I can take off and put back on at the end. Something times something, something times itself is 9. I know 3 squared is 9. So 3 times 3 would have been 9. But I want the answer 900. So I'm going to share those zeros out again. And let's see if that works. 30 times 30, smile on my maths, would be 900. So my missing number is 30 squared. Pretty easy. I tell you what, I'm not even going to do something squared equals 400, because I think you can see that now with the strategy. Could you work out what that is? Straight away I know 2 times 2, and if I share the zeros out, I would have 20 on each side. So 20 squared, 20 times 20 is 400. Right, the answers are at the bottom of the sheet, so you'll be able to work them out. Let's just go for the mega challenge. So question 10, something squared equals 250,000. Now I'm going to use exactly the same strategy. I know if I take those zeros off there, that 5 times 5 equals 25. So it would have been 5 times 5 equals 25 at the end here. Oh, I'm going to have to move that right next to the equal sign so I've got enough room. Now I'm just going to share the zeros out. So 1 on that side, 1 on that side, 1 on that side, 1 on that side. So 500 times 500 would equal 1, 2, 3, 4, 250,000. So I'm going to go for the answer 500 squared equals 250,000. Really, really easy now that we know what to do. something squared equals 4,900. I think this should be in the section above, to be honest, because that's too easy. Now I know 49 is a multiple of 7, so I'm going to go for 7 times 7, which is 49. 7 squared is 49. Share the zeros out. My answer, final answer, is going to be 70 squared. Flying with these. Something squared equals 40,000. Again, there's the number that I'm working with. I know 2 times 2. 2 squared is 4. So I'm going to do 2. And then I'm going to share the zeros out. 1 on that side, 1 on that side, 1 on that side, and 1 on that side. So I'm going to put the answer as 200 squared equals 40,000. Working backwards, using the opposite really to work it out. Using the answer, sorry, yeah, to work it out. And the last one, question 13, something squared equals 1 million. 1 million. Ooh, is that tricky or is that just as easy? I know 1 squared, 1 times 1 still equals 1. And then share the zeros out. There's 3, there's 6, so there's going to be 3 on each side. 3 on each side. I've worked it out. 1,000 squared is going to be 1 million. So 1,000 times itself is going to be a million. I hope that really clears up any trickiness that you found with square numbers, because I'm going to move on to today's learning, which is all about cube numbers. So it's the same really, apart from you timesing it by itself, the number 3 times. Now I could write them all out again right at the start, which wouldn't take me very long. 1 times 1 times 1 is still 1. 2 times 2 times 2. Well, I know 2 times 2 is 4, and then times 4 by 2, so that one would be 8. 3 times 3 times 3. I know 3 times 3 is 9, and if I times 9 by 3, I would get 27, and so on. You can keep going and you can keep working them out. So I'm just going to look for patterns and things that I already know. So the hardest ones are going to be the ones where I've got the answer at the end. 125. Right, what shall I start with? I'm not going to start with a 2 number because it ends in a 5. So that makes me think straight away, could I use 5? Let's see what 5 times 5 times 5 is. 5 cubed. So 5 times 5 is 25. And then I want to do 25 times 5. I know how to count 25s. 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. So I've worked it out straight away. The answer is 5. Just using a little bit maths common sense there. Common sense like the government's telling us to use. Not too sure whether or not their plans have got common sense at the moment, but we'll not make this political. Okay, something cubed equals 27. Well, I know 27 is in the 3 times table. It's a multiple of 3. So let's try 3 times 3 times 3, just to save ourselves a bit of time. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. I've worked that one out straight away. So 3 cubed is 27. Let's go for the one that ends in 1,000. So something cubed equals 1,000. Well, let's try 10. 10 times 10 equals 100 times 10. 100 times 10. 100 times 10 with an extra 0 on the end would be 1,000. So I'm going to put 10. 10 cubed. Right, did I give you a mega challenge for today? Yes, I did. Right, so the mega challenge is just a little bit bigger numbers. So let's have a look at 20 cubed and let's see what we can do there. So I've got 20 cubed. It's going to work out as 20 times 20 times 20. Could I smile on my maths? Yeah, probably could. If I took the zeros off and put them back on at the end. 20 times 20, or 2 times 2 is 4. Put the zeros back on is 400. 4 times 2 would be 8. And put the extras, so put 800. And then put the extra 0 on. So I'm going to go for 8,000. For question number 6. That's your answer. All right, 60 squared. Let's do the same. 60 cubed. I'm saying the wrong thing, aren't I? So that would work out as 60. This is the maths, times 60 times 60. So let's see, what would 6 times 6 be? 36. 36 with 2 zeros on the side, because I'm smiling on my maths. Then if I did 36 times 6 in a column, 6 sixes are 36. 3 on the doorstep, 3 times 6 is 18, 19, 20, 21. I would have 216. So the answer is going to be 216 plus my 2 zeros plus the extra 0 at the end. So I've got 216,000. So you're just doing the same. You're using your numbers to times, and then you're smiling on your maths, which makes it a lot easier than putting other things in a column and trying to work it out, putting all those zeros in columns and trying to work them out. Hope this makes it more clearer for you. So you've got 100 cubed. The maths is 100 times 100 times 100. I think we did that before, didn't we? As squared, or we worked backwards. So let's see, I'd have 1 times 1 times 1, which is still 1. And then I'd have to smile on my math. So 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. If I count 3 from the end and put my thousands comma in, count 3 and put my millions comma in, the answer is 1 million. Did you get that? Quite easy. Sometimes people find it a little bit tricky when it's times in by a 0. They forget what they're doing and they put the wrong answer. Okay, 70 cubed, which works out as 70 times 70 times 70. Okay, so 7 times 7 would be 49. 49 plus your 2 zeros, you can put those on now or at the end. Then the answer, the next bit of maths is this number here times 70. So I'm just going to do 49 times 7 in a column, work it out. 9 sevens are 63, 3 in the box, 6 on the doorstep. 4 sevens are 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. 34. So 343, and then the 2 zeros on the end, and then this extra 0. So I've got 3, 4, 3, 0, 0, 0. The answer is 343,000. Is that what the answer is at the end? Let's just double check my answer. Yep, and that was it. That's today's maths. If there's anything you're still struggling with, because that was a little bit fast, pop a comment in, send me an email, and we'll talk through it until you're confident, okay? All right, it's been lovely hearing from some of you again. Keep the messages coming, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.